Hello guys, it is the Gaming Weasel back again with another video. And in today's video, Beginner Guide Series Part 4. Yes, in today's video, we're going to be covering Warframes, how to mod them, and what do you need to make your Warframe as best as you possibly can. Now, I'm going to be showing you how to mod your Warframe, what I look at before I actually mod one, and what stats do you need to look out for. Now, let's go into the arsenal, which is of course in the middle of your lisette when you go down the escalator, or I guess the stairs. Now, Warframes have a prime and an ordinary variant. There is another variant that is currently, there's only one Warframe, which is Caliber. I'm not going to be talking about that because that's kind of a spoiler. And of course, what you might be asking yourself, what is the difference between primed and non-prime Warframes? Well, the difference in prime and non-prime Warframes is most of the time armor, energy, health, and shield values. So, duration, efficiency, range, and strength are the same at 100% for every single Warframe inside of the game. This stat is changed dependent on the mods that you equip, of course. And sprint speed is, I think, the same for every single Warframe, but sprint speed it was and is not very important stat. So basically, prime Warframes are a little bit better in armor, energy, health, and shield values. So let's quickly go on and see what I do before I actually mod a Warframe. First, I always check the abilities, of course. We have a passive. Every single Warframe has one passive ability and no more. And of course, 4 main abilities that you're going to be using throughout the game and that require energy. So, Volt's passive is going to be grounded movement, generates an electric charge, building up 5 damage per meter that is unleashed with the next attack. So this is really cool. You can maybe get off a big shot. This, I think, caps off at 1000. You can get off a big shot and then do loads of damage to, I guess, one of the heavier enemies that you have to face off. So, Shock is the first ability, Speed, Electric Shield, and then Discharge are the other 3. So, I always read up on the abilities, and abilities can be ranked up to rank 3 depending on your Warframe's level. So the more you level up your Warframe, the higher rank the the abilities are gonna be. So, Shock launches a shocking projectile. It stuns and deals high damage to a single target and chains damage to nearby enemies. So that's cool. We have Speed, gain a brief boost to movement speed, which affects all allies in range, which is really cool as well. We have Volt. We have Electric Shield, which Volt displays an obstacle of energy, providing cover in any situation. This can also be carried on, but it doesn't say it, but you can see it in the little, little screen there that he can pick it up and carry it on with him. And you do switch to your secondary in that point, and or your melee, so you cannot use your primary with this. And then we have Discharge, paralyze nearby hostiles with a damaging electric charge. This also shocks approaching enemies, which is, I think, pretty plain and simple. Now, okay, I've seen the abilities, they seem interesting. I mean, Volt is his name, so I was guessing they're going to be electrical based. And now you can see some stats on these abilities. Now, every single ability is going to have different stats, and some have these certain stats, some don't, some have different ones, so it's really dependent on the ability and the Warframe. So we have Drain, Radius, Effect Radius, Duration, Damage per second, and we have Effect Duration. So Drain is, of course, how much energy you're going to use on cast. The Radius and Effect Radius are the radius that this ability is going to have effect in. And then we're going to have Duration, and Effect Duration, which is based off of your duration, of course. And we have damage per second, which is 1200 electrical damage. You can see it by the little icon right next to it. This may be different for a different Warframe, so keep that in mind. Now, we can see that some, and actually most of his abilities are duration based, except the first one, and except the first one. Only this first one is not duration based. So we can see damage is important and range is important because every single one of these is duration and range. So, and damage as well. Power strength, I mean. So, okay, let's go into the upgrade tab and check out what do we have here and what does every single one of these things mean. Now I'm using config C because these two I have already fully equipped. So, we have this slot, which is the Aura slot. The Exile slot is right next to it. And we have 2 Arcane slots, which we're going to be focusing on because usually at low rank, you're not going to have any Arcanes. We have Capacity, of course, which I explained in my, weapons video. But Capacity is the maximum capacity of mods you can place on. Every single mod has a capacity. For example, Power Drift has 9. You can see it in the top right corner. and let's say Augur Message has 7, and then Constitution has 13. Now you can apply an Orokin Reactor to double it, so from 30 to 60. And you can also apply a Forma, which will change the polarity of the mod slot. So, for example, if I were to select any of these, even the Aura slot, I can change the polarity from, for example, from V polarity, as you can see, it's a V, to a D polarity or a dash polarity. And for example, if I were to use the empty slot, I could pick from all three. So a V polarity, a D polarity, and a dash polarity. And also, this polarity can be changed to these like double little lines, which I kind of don't know the name of, but you have it there as well. There are also some other polarities. So actually, there's only these four, these two dashing lines as well. And there's this one, which we're not going to be talking about because it's a spoiler, so we're not going to be talking about that. But we can see the stats here as well. We can see the rank bonuses once you rank up your Warframe more and more. And of course, you can see the abilities in their full glory here as well. So the first things first, what I will equip is an aura. Now, usually auras do have some polarity, or they don't have any, but this polarity will double your mod capacity depending on the mod that you put. So I'm gonna find the V polarity. Right here, let's say Rifle Amp. This will increase it by 14 because as you can see, the polarities are matching in the top right corner. So this will double it by 14. So that means I'm gonna have 74. So that's really cool. If I were to put a mod that doesn't match it, it's only gonna get increased by 5. So keep that in mind. Always try to match up your polarity on your aura to the polarity that you're gonna be using. So okay, we realized his passive is he increases the damage of your shot once you accumulate enough electrical damage. So, Rifle Amp might be good on him because, of course, rifles are decent inside of the game. And, of course, if you fire off a big shot, you might have a chance to kill the enemy in one shot. Or you could put Steel Charge, which is going to increase it even more, but it's going to only apply to melee weapons. Now, how do aura mods function? Aura mods function not only for yourself, but even for your team. So, quickly going to cover over some very good and useful auras. We have Brief Respite, which is going to be useful on some Warframes, not all of them. On ability cast converts 150% of energy spent to shields, while overshields are inactive. Overshields is when you don't have blue shields anymore, you get purple ones. Some Warframes have ability to grant you overshields and some pets as well. We have Corrosive Projection, which reduces enemy armor by 18%. We have Energy Siphon, which gives you 0.6 energy per second. We also have Combat Disciple, which is okay but rarely used. We have Rejuvenation, which restores 3 health per second. We have Growing Power, applying status effects with weapons, increases ability strength by 25% for 6 seconds. And Power Donation is good on mostly Nova. So we have Pistol Lamp, Steel Charge, and Rifle Lamp. I honestly recommend only Steel Charge and Rifle Lamp. These two are going to be the best ones to use. So let's go equip Rifle Lamp just because of his passive. I mean, it can be applied to melee weapons as well, but might as well make it Rifle Amp. Okay, so we have three pre-built formas inside of here, so that's really cool. We have 1 dash and 2 Vs. Now, what I would always do is, when I'm leveling up a Warframe, apply a health mod. Always apply a health mod. It doesn't matter if it's maxed out, if it's not. I'm gonna say this one, which gives me sort of half of the value. So yeah, there you go. Always increase the health because of more survivability. You're always gonna need it. The armor of the what's his name, Volt, is pretty decent, but not the best. So reduces damage to health by 29.4%. Shields are not affected by armor. So does this increase it? No, it doesn't. But it increases the armor. So I'll actually leave the I'll page the wiki to this. So in what way this affects your health. But basically, applying more armor will reduce the incoming damage by higher and higher percentages. Sadly, it's not changing here, but you cannot put it up to 100%. It's just dependent on certain, I guess, cap points. As I said, I'll leave it in the description down below so you can read it up a little bit more detail. But honestly, you only need health. You don't not need any shield. So not equipping, equipping all 3 of these mods is going to be the best. I honestly just recommend equip a shield or a fatality mod. So you do not have to worry about dying. Okay, so we realized most of these abilities are duration based. Fair enough. So what we're gonna do is go find ourselves a duration mod. So mods such as continuity is gonna be very good. Then constitution is going to be very good as well. We have continuity here. It matches this. So it's going to reduce the cost of continuity from 4 to 2. So that's really cool. Increase the duration a little bit, which means, as you can see, these numbers going green because I increased the duration. So that's really, really cool. The duration, damage in some cases, radius usually goes up by the rank of the actual ability. So as I said, rank is dependent on your Warframe's level. So my Warframe is rank 30. That means all of the abilities are rank 3. So okay, duration. If I possibly can, make some more duration, which is going to be good with Augur Message. Okay. Now, this ability, Discharge, is going to be very good if I, for example, put on a damage mod. So let's go and put on a damage mod, such as Intensify, for example. So let me just go find Intensify. It matches this one, put it here, reduces it by 5. So that's really cool. Okay, now the damage is increased as well, so that's even cooler. And now let's equip, for example, a range mod. Now I need to go for dash there and then put on a mod called Stretch, for example, or Augur Range, or Augur, sorry, what's it called? Augur Reach, yeah. So the Stretch mod matches with the dash polarity and put it here. So there you go. We have increased some of our stats, like range, damage, and duration, and also increased our health so we don't die right off the bat. So that is mostly it. Try to mod your Warframe corresponding to its best attributes. At least that's how I do it. Some people try to make the weaknesses of the Warframe equal to the better sides. I guess make it a Warframe a jack of all trades if you possibly can. But I do it to increase its benefits to even greater heights. Now, my Warframe in itself doesn't have one mod, but I'll fix that later on. My Volt Prime build looks like this. So I have Steel Charge, I have Power Drift, I have Flow, Intensify, Blind Rage, which is a mod, and Overextend as well, which are mods obtained through opening up Deimos Vaults, which I made a video on. You can check it up on my channel. So Blind Rage, which increases power strength but reduces efficiency, and also Overextended, which increases range but it reduces strength. And we also have Streamline, Vitality, and Stretch. I almost always have a health mod, except in rare cases where the Warframe itself is really tanky. So as you can see, these are my stats. Some are red, some are, of course, going to be just purple, and some are going to be just green because they're increased. Of course, red if they're decreased, and purple if they're not changed at all from their base stats. Now, a couple of things that you have to keep in mind. Some attributes, like for example, let's say this Warframe has a Discharge, which it does, and let's say the duration, if I for example put on continuity, the duration doesn't change. Let's say it stays at, let's say, 4 seconds. That means that that certain attribute is not changeable, not even if you put all of the mods for duration that you possibly have. So Constitution, let's say if you even have Prime Continuity, let's say if you have Narrow-Minded, which is another mod for duration, that ability is not going to change because it is locked at, for example, 4 seconds. Now, in this case it's not, I'm just saying for example. So, that is mostly it. Now, I'm not going to be, as I said, I'm not going to be explaining arcanes because honestly, that's a little bit higher tier and I don't think you need it. But you also have 3, I guess, tabs or I guess configs that you can use on your Warframe because, of course, if you want to make multiple builds with different types of things, you can make them. Like, for example, this is supposed to be my Spiel build, but it kind of didn't work out. So, there you go. That is mostly it on how to upgrade your Warframe, on how to, of course, mod it, and what I would go for. For a recap, what I wanted to say, always put an aura mod and try to match it up with the corresponding polarity. Try to look for your Warframe's strengths, so for example, let's say duration, range, and then power strength, and then upgrade them and make them even better than they are now. If you want to do it the other way around and make the weaknesses of the Warframe a little bit better, for example, let's say Volt has low armor. Increasing it by a little bit is not going to completely help you, but it might help you out a little bit. I just think, in my opinion, that upgrading the better parts of the Warframe is much more better and logical in my opinion. But yes, that is mostly it. hope you guys enjoyed. If I explained everything how you wanted to hear it, hope you enjoyed it, and I'm glad if you did. If you have any sort of questions, leave it in the comment section below. I'll answer it in the shortest time possible. And yeah, this has been the Gaming Weasel. Hope you guys enjoyed, and leave a like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys on the next one. The Gaming Weasel over and out.